Then on the other hand, when I went to work for ShopRite, there was no supervision whatsoever. Um, I was the district manager, I was the regional director, I was the grocery supervisor, produce supervisor, meat supervisor, and whatever else you wanted. General store manager. Um, the owner, when he came in, he would just come in, walk down one of the aisles, and get there between 9 and 10, and he'd go upstairs into his little office. Once in a while, he would do some shopping first, and other times he would do shopping like at lunchtime. Um, he rarely said a word to you. Um, you could go a whole day with him being in the store and not even saying boo to you. He could walk by you. And numerous times I had stopped him and said, "What, are you mad at me? You're not even saying hello today when you walk by?" And he just like looks at you, and sometimes he would smile, and because he did have a personality on occasion, he just didn't really like to show it too often. And most of his employees really didn't know too much about him, and they kind of shied away from him because he was so standoffish that they just figured that he didn't want to have anything to do with him. So he would go around, he would do a little bit of shopping stuff, and he never paid for anything when he did it. But one day I was joking around and I said something to him about it, and he says, "Well, I've already paid for all this stuff. Why should I continue? Why should I have to pay again?" I said, "Okay, that's cool." I said, "As long as you're not holding me accountable for the loss of the product or the shrink that's involved in whatever you're taking, be my guest. Take what you want. Like you said, you own it." And yeah, he had his little office up there, and yeah, he would sit there all day long. And then when he married the missus, um, for some reason she decided that she needed to be part of that business, and she used to try and micromanage it from home. And she would call her spies, and she would call her people that she wanted certain things done, and she just never passed them on to me. And those were one of the problems that we always had. Is I always asked, "Please, if you want something done in the store, let me know what it is. Tell me what you want, and I'll make sure that it gets done. Don't hold me responsible for getting anything done if you're going to go behind my back and tell other people to do things, and then when they don't do them in that timely fashion that you want them done, well, then who are you going to hold accountable for it?" I was always that way. If I'm running the ship, I'm running the ship. All orders have to go through me, and then I'll dish them out, or I give the orders myself. To me, that was purely logical, the way things work. So when she decided that she was going to start making more of a nuisance of herself in the business, then she needed to make room in the office for herself. So he had a little work table that he used to have plans and stuff on and everything. And she decided that she was going to take that over and become part of his office, which that poor bastard. I mean, I really did feel sorry for him a lot of the times, because here he's got to put up with her at home all the time, which I'm sure he was happy he married her, so I guess then, that's what he chose to do. I said, but I know that I couldn't work with my wife and then go home and live with my wife and then come back to work with my wife the next day. And he would end up with like no privacy whatsoever. And, as the years went on, um, there were times that he'd be sleeping up there in his office because I don't know, maybe he didn't get any sleep at home with the kids or whatever the case may be. I can't speak about that. But she'd come meandering in and park her butt down on the table and pull out her laptop and start doing her little shopping and stuff like that, because that was the important things that she needed to do. She needed to drive into the store so that she could sit up there on a laptop and shop. Um, and I think it was basically she just didn't want him out of her sight, because she didn't want him to have a life. Like I had said before, if I invited him for a beer after work, even if it was in a parking lot, I'd get a phone call the next day. "What are you doing drinking beers with him in a parking lot?" Like, oh man, you know. And I remember that one time I had said something to her. I said, why are you doing this? Why are you like this around him?" And this was, I think, before they even got married. And her comment was, "Is I've already lost one boyfriend, and I'm not losing another." I don't know what that meant, but I think that um, she was a bit overbearing, and I'm going to guess and say that maybe her ex-boyfriend didn't really like that. But this one, I guess he seemed to like that, and that's where it became. So she decided that she was going to be the supervisor, and there's nothing worse than a supervisor that doesn't know anything about the business, but insists on being the supervisor and being the boss. And as owner, that was her prerogative, and I wonder how that's working out now. She's got the perfect people that nobody will ever question anything that she says, and tells them to do, and so I'm sure she's happy to be rid of me. I know I'm certainly happy to be rid of her, and you know, but it can be bad when you have people that are in charge that don't know what they're doing and come in and decide that they want to try and give you orders. Um, it never really works out, and they're trying to get respect from you. They want you to give them respect, but they're not giving you the respect. So that's just a bad situation.